We were 6 months out from the wedding. Nothing extravagant, just a backyard ceremony in Vermont, close friends and family, rustic vibes, good food. We weren't the picture-perfect couple, but I thought we were solid. Her name's Emily. We met 4 years ago in Boston through a mutual friend, and from the start, she was one of those people who made you feel like life wasn't rushing past. Calm, funny, good with my family. I genuinely believed she was it for me. So when she told me about a girls' night with a few of her old college friends, I didn't question it. Emily wasn't the party-all-night type. She said they'd be at her friend Claire's lake house just 2 hours away. Wine, old memories, wedding countdown talks. I wished her a fun night, kissed her goodbye at the door, and thought nothing of it. Later that night, around 9:30 p.m., I texted her a picture of our dog curled up in her hoodie. Just something small. She replied an hour later. "Aw, miss you. Don't wait up. Everyone's crashing here tonight." I remember that line because it didn't sit right. She wasn't the type to just decide not to come home on a whim. But I let it go. Maybe the wine hit harder than usual. Maybe they were having a good time, and I didn't want to be the insecure guy who couldn't handle one night apart. But something bugged me. I couldn't shake it. I checked her location the next morning. Yes, we shared it, mostly for safety. She was at a residential address in New Hampshire. Not Claire's place. I Googled it. It belonged to someone named Aaron M., her ex. I recognized the last name because it came up once when we had that past relationships talk. She told me they dated for about 2 years in college, ended on decent terms, and hadn't kept in touch. Nothing dramatic. I hadn't thought about him since. But now my fiancée had spent the night there. I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I called her that morning and kept it normal. "Morning, Em. How was girls' night?" She sounded off. "Tired." It was fine. Just tired, didn't sleep much. "You at Claire's still?" A pause. "Yeah, just packing up." That pause told me everything. I didn't say anything else. Just wished her a safe drive home and hung up. And I sat there, staring at our engagement photo on the fridge for a long time. I didn't know what to think. I didn't even feel angry yet, just confused, disappointed, like something important had quietly slipped away from me overnight. But I needed to know the truth. I texted Claire. I had only met her twice, but she was friendly enough. "Hey Claire, hope you don't mind me asking, did Emily leave her hoodie at your place? I can't find it." She replied 10 minutes later. "Hey, we didn't do girls' night this weekend. Did something happen?" There it was. I didn't even respond. I just put the phone down and stared at it, numb. She hadn't even involved her actual friends. She made up a whole fake plan to see him. Still, I waited. I needed to hear it from her. I needed her to admit it. When she came home that afternoon, something in her face told me she knew I knew. But I didn't explode. I just asked, "Where were you last night?" She hesitated, then quietly said, "I didn't go to Claire's." I just nodded. "So where did you go?" That's when she said something that still echoes in my head. "I want to see Aaron." I needed to close that chapter. One last night before I get married. One last night to feel free. What does that even mean? I just stood there for a moment, not saying anything. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She said it almost clinically, like she was reading from a script she'd rehearsed in the car on the way home. I asked her, "Did you sleep with him?" She looked at the floor. "Yes." Still calm. No shaking hands. No emotional breakdown. Like this was just something she needed to confess to check it off a list. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just sat down on the arm of the couch and took a breath. The silence between us filled the entire room, and the weight of what she had done started to land, little by little. "I wasn't planning it like that," she finally said. "I reached out to him a month ago just to talk. I didn't know it would go that far. But once we started talking, all these memories came back. And I guess I wanted to be sure I was really ready to let all of that go." That word again, free. "I love you, I do," she added. "But it felt like I needed one night to say goodbye to who I was before I marry you." I looked at her. This woman who I thought I knew inside and out. Who I planned to build a life with. And all I could think was, how is betrayal now dressed up as self-discovery? "So you needed to have sex with your ex to confirm you're ready to marry me?" She blinked hard. "I know how that sounds." "No," I said. "You know exactly how that sounds. You just hoped I'd never find out so you wouldn't have to deal with it." That's when her voice finally cracked. "I didn't think it would matter after the wedding. I just wanted to get it out of my system." She actually said that. As if marriage is a switch you flip to suddenly become a better person. As if trust is a test you can fail once and still pass the course. She tried to sit next to me. I moved away. I asked her, "Did he know you were engaged?" She nodded. "Yeah." He asked why I came. But we both agreed it was just one night. Nothing more. That didn't help. I didn't need to know the details, but now they were playing in my head anyway. Her lying in his bed while I was texting her pictures of our dog. Her choosing him, even temporarily, while I was planning our honeymoon. She reached for my hand and whispered, "I regret it. It wasn't worth it." But that's the problem with decisions like this. You don't get to measure regret after the fact and expect it to fix anything. I didn't say anything else that day. I just left. Went to stay with my brother 2 towns over. Told him everything that night over a 6-pack and an exhausted heart. He asked the same question I'd been asking myself all day. Do you think you can forgive her? I didn't know. Still don't. But I knew I couldn't look at her the same way again. Not after that sentence. I needed one last night to feel free. You don't build a marriage on a lie like that. You don't start a life together on top of someone else's bed. A few days passed before I responded to any of her texts. They started calm. Asterisk, can we talk? Asterisk, I miss you. Then turned desperate. I'll do anything. And please just tell me what you're thinking. I wasn't ready to answer her. I was too busy replaying everything in my mind. Her body language, her voice when she confessed, the casual way she said she needed that night. It wasn't some drunk mistake. It was planned, premeditated. She contacted him a month ago. Met up. Spent the night. Lied. I finally agreed to meet. Neutral ground. Coffee shop near my work. I didn't want her in my space again. Not yet. She showed up looking worn out. Puffy eyes. No makeup. Hoodie that hung off her shoulders. I didn't feel bad for her. I just felt tired. She looked like she wanted to talk, but didn't know how. I messed up, she said, before even sitting down. I know I did. And I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I need you to know I regret it. I wish I could take it back. I let her talk. She said she'd broken off contact with Aaron immediately after. That she'd told her parents and her sister. That she was seeing a therapist. She kept saying, I was stupid, and it meant nothing, and I don't know what I was thinking. But then she said something that hit different. I thought I needed to feel wild one last time. But all it did was show me what I could have lost. She finally looked shaken. Not from guilt, but from realizing there are some things you don't bounce back from. Some bridges stay burned. I wanted to believe you'd never find out, she admitted. And that's on me. I was selfish. But I don't want to live without you. I'll spend years proving I'm not that person if you let me. That's when I asked her one simple question. Why didn't you talk to me about how you were feeling before doing that? Her eyes welled up. Because I didn't want to admit it. That I had doubts. That I missed the part of me that didn't owe anyone anything. And I knew if I told you, it would already be too far gone. That said everything. She wasn't confused. She wasn't caught in some emotional whirlwind. She made a choice. A calculated, selfish, cowardly choice. And her plan was to lock it away, marry me, and never bring it up again. Until I found out. I looked at her for a long moment. Then I told her, I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting myself. You made a decision without me. So I'm making one without you. She broke down right there. Full sobs. I stayed calm. I left the coffee shop knowing I wasn't going back. We called off the wedding. I sent a brief email to guests, said it was mutual. Let her keep the ring. I didn't want anything tied to it anymore. She reached out a few more times after that. Long texts. A birthday voicemail. But I never responded. Now, a year later, I'm dating again. I still struggle with trust. And yeah, some nights I replay her words like an old voicemail I never deleted. But I also remember that I walked away with dignity. And she walked away with regret. A regret she'll carry far longer than she ever expected. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.